Now, in both cases, you're working hard. What's the difference between, doing something you love and you work late hours and you sacrifice your relationships and you sacrifice your family, but you look at it and say, it was hard, but it was worth it, versus losing all those things and all you do is get a Lamborghini at the end. It's like, was it worth it? I'm like, I'm not so sure I'd do that again, And so I think that's what purpose and cause provide us, is they give us a reason for the sacrifice. That's what love gives us. It gives us the reason for the sacrifice. That's what children do. They give us the reason for the sacrifice. Your life will profoundly change when you have a child. Is it worth it? Yes. Is it easy? No. Every person I've ever talked to who has children say it's the most difficult thing they've ever done. And if you ask them if it's worth it, they all say yes. That doesn't go together, When
I think about even this podcast and setting purposeful goals for what we're doing here, we definitely fell in the trap of being, like I think a lot of people do, you get consumed in the charts. Oh my God, we're number one, right?
For now.
For now, yeah. And then you scratch your head and go, well, then what next? What's a more worthy, more purposeful goal for us to have as a team when we're building something like this podcast? Because it's so easy to get, caught up in, we want to be number one in the charts. And that does drive you to some extent.
Yeah.
It seems to be a reason, whether it's a vapid one or whatever. But what is a better, more worthy, purposeful goal to set?
Okay, so let's take a step back.
Uh-oh. Going to interrogate me.
No. What was the reason you did episode 1?
Plentiful. I'm going to give you all of them. I'm very honest as well. Thought podcasting as a medium would be a big opportunity. I thought that would be a really effective medium of communication, one that's growing.
Opportunity for what?
To grow my personal brand.
Okay.
I'm going to give you all of the reasons, even the selfish ones. Okay.
Go on.
Number 2, I find it a thrill and deeply compelling and liberating for others to talk about things and be honest in a way that most people aren't usually honest. So in the first episode, I talk about things like masturbation and mental health problems as a CEO, difficulties with my family, all of those things. I find it liberating for myself, but I know for others that listen to it, especially when we got started to get the feedback, it was equally liberating for them. And then so episode 1 episode 1 was more of an experiment, but as you get to episode 2 or whatever, then it was the feedback. So I was doing a lot of other things that were doing bigger views. My Facebook videos would get 10 million views each. But the feedback I was getting from the 1,000 people that were listening to this was deep. It was profound and it was intense.
And it said things like?
They said things like, I can relate to that. That's really helped me solve this problem I've had. You've made me feel, a big one we get is, you've made me feel like I'm not alone.